In the pouring rain, the old man with white hair holds up an umbrella. He is Alliance leader Yu Jong-han, and he asks for a word. Li Jinyan stands before him. As Chu Myung-ho watches from the side in surprise, Li Jinyan greets the Alliance leader, saying, "It's been a while." The Alliance leader acknowledges him, mentioning that he has seen Li Jinyan training diligently on several occasions. Chu Myung-ho is stunned. He realizes the old man is the rumored Murim Alliance leader, and wonders how Li Jinyan could possibly know him. The Alliance leader's gaze then shifts past Li Jinyan. Li Jinyan asks who the other man is. Flustered, Chu Myung-ho quickly bows and introduces himself. Alliance leader Yu Jong-han notices the scar on Chu Myung-ho's cheek, remarking that it looks like a sword wound. Chu Myung-ho corrects him, stating it was from a dagger. The Alliance leader asks what happened, and Chu Myung-ho begins to stammer. Yu Jong-han probes further, asking if the injury was sustained during a duel or training. Under pressure, Chu Myung-ho blurts out the truth. He confesses that he used to run a gambling den and got into a fight with a man who wouldn't pay his debts. The man then stabbed him in the cheek with a dagger. An awkward silence hangs in the air as Li Jinyan and the Alliance leader stare at him. Chu Myung-ho immediately regrets his outburst. He thinks to himself, what an idiot he is for confessing such a thing to the leader of the Murim Alliance. When he could have easily lied and said it was from a duel or training. As Chu Myung-ho continues to break himself, the Alliance leader simply says, "I see." He then places a hand on Chu Myung-ho's shoulder, telling him that he too bears a scar that never fades. Yu Jong-han begins to tell a story from his past. His father used to run a brewery, supplying liquor to taverns and often carrying the heavy loads himself. He then recalls a painful memory. One day, he witnessed his father being mercilessly beaten by a group of drunks in a tavern. At that time, the Alliance leader explains he was not the skilled swordsman he is today. He continues his story. Unable to wield a sword, a young Yu Jong-han grabbed a stick and swung it wildly. He says the drunks weren't particularly strong men. In a fit of rage, he knocked them all to the ground, though none of them died. After the fight, his father, with a shocked expression, came to him and tried to stop the bleeding on his arm. Yu Jong-han admits he didn't even realize he was bleeding. His father then carried him on his back, running through the snowy woods. He reflects that it had been so long since he was carried like that. While on his father's back, he noticed that his father's own sleeve was torn. The Alliance leader continues, recalling how his father's torn sleeve was soaked in sweat as it brushed against his arm. He muses that perhaps that's why the scar he received that day never disappeared. Finishing his story, Yu Jong-han looks at Chu Myung-ho and states that whenever one steps into Jang-ho, they always have their own story. His gaze then falls upon Chu Myung-ho's red umbrella. He asks, "That tattered umbrella, is that your weapon?" Chu Myung-ho is startled by the sudden question. Li Jinyan answers, stating, "I borrowed it from him." The Alliance leader Yu Jong-han says, "I see," before taking his own umbrella and offering it to Chu Myung-ho. Then this time, "Allow me to lend you one myself," he says. Chu Myung-ho takes it, and is immediately shocked by its immense weight. The Alliance leader explains that it's a black iron umbrella, a gift to the Murim Alliance from the Moyeon clan. Both the ribs and shaft are made of black iron. He notes its weight and durability make it a fine weapon, one that could be swung 1,000,000 times without breaking. He tells Chu Myung-ho, "Take it." Chu Myung-ho nervously thanks the Alliance leader, wondering aloud if he truly deserves such a fine weapon. The Alliance leader then calls his name. Chu Myung-ho responds, and Yu Jong-han asks him a direct question, "Do you regret living such a shameful life?" The question hangs in the air. Chu Myung-ho looked down, his gaze fixed on the heavy iron umbrella in his hands. The scene shifts to a vast, open landscape, as if his mind is wandering. With a gentle smile, Alliance leader Yu Jong-han places a hand on Chu Myung-ho's shoulder. He tells him that if he can correct yesterday's wrongs and live properly today, then he is already a good man. He advises him that there's no need to torment himself over the past. Chu Myung-ho looks up, understanding the Alliance leader's words. Yu Jong-han then turns to Li Jin, stating that it's tiring to spend too much time with an old man, and that he will now take his leave. He tells Li Jin that he looks forward to seeing him at the Dragon Phoenix tournament. Li Jin respectfully replies, "Yes, sir." As his final parting words, the Alliance leader looks at both of them and says, "Whether you swing your fist or your umbrella, let's meet again." Li Jin calls out a final thought as the Alliance leader departs, preferably on the side of the Orthodox faction. After Yu Jong-han is gone, Li Jin tells Chu Myung-ho that it's lunchtime. Chu Myung-ho, however, tells him to go on first, saying he'll train a little longer. Left alone, Chu Myung-ho marvels at the black iron umbrella, laughing to himself about receiving a weapon from the alliance leader. His laughter quickly dissolves into quiet sobs. Watching from a distance with a slight smile, Li Jin wonders to himself if Xu Myung-ho is laughing or crying. A few days later, on the night before the Dragon Phoenix tournament, a martial artist stands on a brightly lit stage. He calls out to the gathered crowd of seniors and juniors of the Jianku, asking them if they know what the Eve festival is. He explains that since the main tournament has so many participants, many get exhausted just waiting for the preliminary rounds to begin. That's why they have the Eve festival. He declares that here, anyone can face a person they've always wanted to challenge. The martial artist on stage continues his speech. Most importantly, he says the festival is a chance to prove one's worth. He declares that if anyone realizes they're not up to par tonight, they shouldn't bother showing up for the main tournament. They don't need weaklings dragging out the event. Someone remarks about the tournament tomorrow. The crowd cheers loudly in agreement. Watching from the side, Li Jinyan thinks to himself that the Eve festival sounds fun. Just then, a man in the crowd points and shouts, "Hey, you with the umbrella." He's looking directly at Xu Myung-ho. He claims Xu Myung-ho was mouthing off earlier and demands he show them his umbrella skills. Xu Myung-ho is taken aback. The challenger continues, accusing him of starting the fight over a weapon. Li Jinyan observes this exchange and thinks with annoyance, "Tch, he's so distracting." The crowd begins to whisper, questioning if Xu Myung-ho's weapon is really an umbrella. The challenger scoffs, demanding he show them what the umbrella can do. As the rest of the crowd joins in the mockery, wondering why there's such a fuss, Xu Myung-ho thinks to himself that his opponent is a lunatic with a nasty temper. He shouts back, asking if they even know who gave him the umbrella, but he stops himself, deciding to humor the man. With a new resolve, he declares, "I'm Xu Myung-ho who swung my sword 100,000 times. He adds that he has also recently learned slashing and thrusting from his master. Two onlookers in the crowd dismiss Xu Myung-ho's boast, calling it child-level training. One tells the other to let him be, saying he'll mature eventually. The original challenger continues to taunt Xu Myung-ho. He sarcastically remarks that he must have an impressive master to have taught him a technique that even street thugs know. Xu Myung-ho is left confused by the comment. Suddenly, a new man with intense purple eyes steps forward. He states that he wasn't planning on getting involved. However, he can't just stand by and watch a fool disgrace the Dragon Phoenix tournament. Xu Myung-ho scoffs mockingly, "I couldn't care less about that tournament or whatever." But he won't turn down a fight. The man with purple eyes accepts the challenge, simply stating, "Bring it on." The two now stand facing each other on the stage. From his balcony, Li Jinyan watches the scene unfold with a contemplative look. Down below, Xu Myung-ho and the new challenger stare each other down, ready for the duel to begin. With a battle cry, Xu Myung-ho declares, "The one who strikes first wins." He leaps forward, swinging the heavy black iron umbrella down with immense force. His purple-y opponent is surprised by the attack's velocity, thinking to himself, he's fast. He quickly moves to parry the blow. The resulting impact is powerful enough to crack and shatter the wooden floorboards of the stage beneath them. The force of the blow sends Xu Myung-ho stumbling to the ground, the black iron umbrella falling beside him. He realizes with a start, this umbrella is shorter than the usual one. His opponent, wielding a long spear, begins to laugh at him. You can't even handle your own weapon. What an idiot." He's cut off mid-sentence, his expression turning to shock. The onlookers in the crowd are just as confused, pointing at the stage and wondering what Xu Myung-ho is doing. The crowd is in an uproar, shouting, "Is he running away?" Indeed, Xu Myung-ho has decided on his next move. As his opponent stands frozen in shock, Xu Myung-ho thinks to himself, "I'll run for now," and promptly turns to flee from the stage.